Thank you, everyone. So very happy to be here. And first of all, thanks everybody for for the time and really for inviting me to share the things I'm going to say today. So to start sharing, let's what I wanted to talk about today is really a little bit of different perspective, kind of what we can really what are the services, and since my background is the service design, what actually the services are, and what's their role within the ecosystem of everything that is happening right now, all the changes. So basically when you're talking about the service design, it's really kind of answering the big questions. It's not about sometimes it's really addressing something very local, very specific, something within the channel, potentially even kind of really small, but sometimes you get the big ones. So imagine you've been called to say, okay, can you please improve the unemployment, reduce the unemployment of the younger generations in your country. So that kind of scale is sometimes very terrifying, but really challenging to do, and really exciting to have the opportunity to do so. But regardless of is it a big change or a small change, it always come back to one thing, and it come back to behaviors. So it's really how services are changing the behaviors, how services are affecting us, and it's always about how to design it in order to make the change. So coming back to what Vlado said, early on, I will not ask you to kind of close your eyes and go back to the childhood, but just try to remember, when you travel, it really, it does create a meaning for you. I'll quote, we had a chat with one guy. He said, yeah, when I travel, I get on a plane, and when I land somewhere in other country, first I go to the store, on the airport, and buy a magazine. What kind of magazine? Any magazine. So it's not, so just as long as it's not on my native language, because that's actually the situation where I actually confirm I travel, And at that point, what happened? People take different identity, they start different behaviors. They start, they have some small rituals. So it's all about really, changing the behavior when you're traveling. And this is something very, very important to notice, because the travel does create a different meaning for us, and meaning creates the behavior. And why is that important? Well, kind of, again, the crisis, the COVID situation kind of pushed us out. All of a sudden, we are learning the new things. We are learning how to travel again, because we have to, and it's not like in the old days, because right now it's a little bit different. Some anxieties regarding, how I will travel, certain restrictions, I have to change the routes. So it's all about, creating different meaning and creating different environment, and also creating different behaviors. So, one guy said, every crisis is actually the opportunity, because it pushes you to this change, right? So if you're looking at the kind of companies that are now in traveling ecosystem, you have those that are smart ones, and those that are not that smart. Just a few days ago, I saw that one airline company was kind of, just trying to fill in the empty seats on the plane, offering, free miles, extra miles, etc. So what are they actually doing? Nothing. They're just pushing the volumes and just pushing it to the to the backhaul thing. Come on, guys, promoting it like, yeah, come on, guys, face-to-face meetings are great. Remember how it was good. So let's try and let's start traveling again. But in reality, this kind of company, they just had a crisis. They didn't use the opportunity to change. So all the new ones are actually, and the smart ones are actually making that push extra. And then when people are starting learning new behaviors, having new rituals, it's all of a sudden that, you have an opportunity to intervene, and you have an opportunity to really make the change. So how does the service comes into play? Well, service is something, literally, that helps someone do something. It's not that complicated. It's a complicated definition, but it really helps you do something. Now, the question is actually, what does that do means? Is it means to kind of get you from A to B, Or is it helps you from, get you from A to B with something else, with kind of, changing additional behavior, moving into the right place, thinking about all the ecological challenges that we are facing, making more eco-friendly traveling. So what does the service actually do? And that's actually, what I'm saying is that the design is the one, the designers are the ones that are gonna change the service. And when you change the service, you're gonna change the behaviors, right? And now is a fantastic opportunity because, again, everybody's learning to do use these services and to travel, again. Now, sometimes people say, yeah, but there are different people, different kind of personalities. And yeah, there are different people and different personalities, but reality is that people underneath the skin, within their minds, they really share quite a lot of things. The challenge is that the COVID kind of, radicalized everybody. Everybody was pushed to their own limits, reduced the number of things that actually share. But in reality, everybody has its own, own natural urge to do good. So let's use that. Now we are creating new services. Now we are redesigning how we are traveling. So let's use that urge to do good and really make it a good thing, because this is now the once of the lifetime opportunity, to do it. And when looking at what kind of change can we do, it's not about just one little thing. It's more about those relationships. And when we're talking about the community, the social part, when we say relationship, it means really it has to feel like it's a person to person. When you're designing service, it's not about digital to person or system to person. No, it's really like person to person. And then that feeling and that relationship, it's kind of extrapolated to digital and to the system. So when you're making the change for the community, you're making the change for the social environment that you're doing. Think of it as really as a person-to-person interaction, as a direct relationship, because then you will not be wrong. You will be really looking at the core of the human nature and the good urge to do good. So to conclude, because I would like to kind of keep it short and really keep it very simple, how to feel it. Changing the social, it's really about not just about making the different interface. So your customers are using the different features. It's not even about optimizing some of the services, optimizing the routes, potentially traveling routes. It's not even to kind of selecting different routes, but it's ultimately about changing the behavior and changing the reality in which they're living. And this is where I believe that we can make a difference today. So really keen, very, very keen to kind of, see what people are doing and how we can, make that impact, because it all comes down really to the change of the behavior. Thanks.